Selamat pagi dan salam sejahtera. So, thanks for coming and welcome to UKM UNESCO training on media information literacy for academics. This training is organized by the Empowerment of Media Literacy and Digital Content Research Cluster, mentioned FSSK UKM. Special greeting to Associate Professor Dr. Emma, the chair of mention. And actually, we are also expecting the arrival and also the participation of Dr. Lim. Dr. Lim Min Kok is actually the representative of UNESCO. So maybe that later on that he will be in. And special invitation to our invited speaker. No stranger to all of us here, Datin Associate Professor Dr. Hasmah Binti Zanuddin from University Malaya, UM, and Prof. Dr. Faridah Ibrahim, and I used to call her Kada, from UKL, Infrastructure University, Kuala Lumpur. Okay, according to the guidance given by the Secretariat, before we go further, and I would like to invite all Muslim participants to start with Al-Fatiha, and for other religion that you can go for your simple prayer in accordance to your religion. So let's have a simple prayer. Okay, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Without further ado, please let me invite Dr. Emma, the chair of mention, for a welcoming remark. Please, Dr. Emma.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Associate Professor Dr. Chang, moderator for the morning session of the UNESCO UKM Media and Information Literacy Workshop Series for academics. Welcome everybody. I hope everyone is staying healthy and doing well wherever you are. Special welcome to our two wonderful speakers today. Datin Associate Professor Dr. Hasmah Zanuddin from UC Malaya, and also my guru, Professor Dr. Faridah Ibrahim from UKL. So this morning is the beginning of our second day of the workshop series, and for those for the benefit of our speakers, just probably to recap a little bit of what this webinar or what this training is all about. So basically, this is a collaboration between UKM and UNESCO, specifically the UNESCO Communications and Information Department, to train media information literacy among university lecturers, specifically lecturers who are teaching journalism and related to media, because we are the ones who will groom the next generation of journalists and media practitioners. So UNESCO and UKM, we feel that it is very important for us, educators in communication, to start thinking about different ways to teach MIL in our curriculum. And we start with a training session, a 3-day training session, which already started on the 19th, on the 17th. So this is day 2, and then we'll have another one on day 3, which is on the 22nd of February, for the first group of our academics. And the second group of academics will continue their day 2 of their workshop on the 23rd of February and on the 3rd of March. So basically, it's a close-knit group that we are training for this first round, but hopefully we aim to do more of the media information literacy training in the future. But our focus at the moment is to train those who are actually teaching journalism and teaching media communications at their respective universities. So today we have the participation of mostly here from UKM. We also expect lecturers from USM, UMS, UUM, UNIMAP, UNIMAS, and UITM who are here with us today. And group 2, which will start next week, will consist of those from UPM, USIM, Taylor's University, MMU, Utah, and Sadri University, and also IIUM. So we're very excited to start this collaboration with UNESCO, but more excited to have all of you here today, because this is a start of a wonderful collaboration, the MLL family among Malaysian educators, communication educators, and I believe that whatever that we have learned from this training can be expanded to your own respective work at the university, and inshallah we'll build a stronger, a better journalists, media practitioners, a better generation that is aware, that is sensitive to MIL in the future, inshallah. So I wish you all the best for the training today. Inshallah, I'll see you guys back because I am also giving a session, but later in the afternoon, the last session for today. So I hope everybody will stay awake and alert throughout the workshop series. And yeah, all the best. Back to you, Dr. Chang.
Thank you very much, Dr. Emma. I think that all participants are ready. And to all participants, I would like to inform the registration form link is available in the chat room, in the chat box for your action. You can just click the chat, and then after that, you can get the link, and then please do the registration from there. So, okay, ladies and gentlemen, as time is rather limited, please let me outline the running of today's training. After this, I would like to introduce both speakers, but for today is actually let them to start their talks, and I understand that each speaker are actually given about 45 minutes to share their thoughts, and after they deliver the talks, and there will be a Q&A session, and I think that there will be about 15 minutes for all of us to have a Q&A before 12 o'clock. So please write down your question if in case that you have any question to ask, especially for Datin, that she will be the first speaker. You can write in the chat box. So we will have a Q&A only after both speakers deliver their talks. Okay, or towards the end, maybe the last 15 minutes, you may ask directly later on. Okay. So ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce the first speaker first before we proceed. So we have the first speaker here is Datin Associate Professor Dr. Hasmah Binti Zanuddin. So my big sister here. So Datin, thanks for coming. And Datin is actually from University of Malaya. I think as earlier that I have actually mentioned to all of you. And currently, Datin is working at the Department of Media Studies, Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences. And her expertise is public relations, media and communication policy management, and research method, content study, and audience research. She has benefited from a multidisciplinary education in 3 different academic systems. That's interesting, Datin. So we look at her bachelor degree. After receiving her bachelor degree, majoring in creative and descriptive writing from University Malaya. And she pursued her Master of Science in Journalism at Ohio University, United States. And then further to her PhD in Communication Policy at the University of Westminster, London, UK. And she has also vast experience in research collaboration at the national and international levels, such as UMRG, FRGS, and the Korean Australian Research Center, University of New South Wales, Australia. And her research interests are in the area of content studies, audience research, health PR, media policy, and big data and social media impact on public opinion, and also international communication as well as comparative media. The output of her research is reflected in her recent local and international ISI as Scopus Index publication. You can check later on from her website. And I think without further ado, Datin is ready. Ladies and gentlemen, I handed the session to Datin Hasmah with her speech on opportunities and challenges of oblique for MIL. Got it right here, not mother-in-law, but it's media and information literacy in Malaysia. Career, research and collaboration, and innovation. Over to you, Datin. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Chang. Good to see all of you, especially the familiar faces. Kak Da, Dr. Emma, yeah. All right, so happy to see you. So okay, pardon me because I'm not so good with Zoom. We used to use Google Meet. A lot of you because use a lot of Google Meet. So I try to share my screen. Okay. So pardon me because of the short notice. So I take maybe the perspective doesn't meet the whole lot whatever Dr. Emma wanted. Okay, but perhaps I will try to contribute a bit to assist so that maybe will be useful in certain manners. I really hope so. Yeah, because we just at UM we just finished uploading the marks, and you know the hassle, and it's so tiring. So I'll try to share because we did something on media literacy and information sharing pattern using the online media with the orang asli women in Gombak. So through the experience, that particular research grant was granted by Mustafa Kamal MK group, because they have Belum Forest orang asli community, and they have a vast experience working in the orang asli. So they contributed some fund for the faculty, and I got a little bit of that grant. So we did a research on media literacy on online media with the orang asli in Gombak among the women. How do they get the things and how do they access the content and stuff like that. So it's through this. Okay, I'll try to share some of the basic things on media information literacy. All right. So with the influx, we experience this every day. Okay, this is our what we're actually facing. Okay. So I remember we're talking about some of the things within the COVID and everything that everybody, yeah, everything has to go online, and then there are certain quarters then we realize that, yeah, some of the internet connections and stuff, that we realize a lot of things are not perfect enough in terms of online. But on top of that, we still have to access, and we realize there are a lot of other hurdles that we face along the way. Yeah, so this is some of the jargons that we have to face every day. So I realized along the way, because UM had just changed into a new exam portal platform, so we have to learn. So I can see the gap. Okay, so when I see me, Kak Da, Dr. Chang, so and Dr. Emma belong to the younger spectrum. So you know, see, last time we used to like my parents the age gap, so we laugh. So now I am the old one. So we're facing it. So I have to use my RA, which is the younger group. This younger group, I don't know, they're so smart. It's just like you let the fish into the tank, so they just swim. So, but I have really to learn why is it's not sharing, why is it's not uploading, and something like that. It takes a while to click in. It takes a while to click in. Those that I'm thinking that I'm using it daily, some of the things, and yet I still have to learn, and I still have to face some of the hurdles. So and that's only the nitty-gritty of technological hurdle, not yet into content, not yet into useful perspective of content, yeah, assessing, sieving, yeah. So those are not yet, all right. So there's so many perspectives that you haven't thought about the gadgets still, yeah. So you still have to be, but and it comes with some financial expenses as well, yeah, financial expenses as well. These are the things in terms of it come to when you talk about digital literacy here, yeah. It's not only be able to talk over the phone. There's a lot of other meaning in terms of digital literacy. Okay, so in terms of I've screening through some of the research perspective in terms of digital literacy, media digital literacy. So some of the research perspective focus on information, data, and content. Information, data, and content. And this perspective coming in with whether a certain age group, yeah, whether that content, because every platform now has been merged into the internet platform, yeah, so it can be accessed, yeah. Even Astro also now coming with Astro Ultra, right? So where we can merge the internet and also the satellite broadcasting. So these are things that in terms of information, data, and content, where are the spectrums, I mean, and where are the limits? Where are the limits? Okay, so in terms of whether our current regulatory structures still intact, yeah, still intact in terms of data. For example, for minor, yeah. So I've looked into the information, data, and content research into a minor in Malaysia, whether MCMC Malaysia Communication Act is still useful or not. Yeah, can it govern our child? Can self-censorships be able to help? So in terms of data and information content, how about the minority? How about our aunties and uncle and grandmother in the kampung? Okay, can we actually help them? Can they actually join the bandwagon in terms of information, data, and content that available? Okay, and are they all useful? Yeah, so there are many information, data, and content research that I've gone through, I've looked through, and some perspectives in terms of regulatory, some perspective in terms of the limit for minorities, for children, young children, a lot of things, and education as well. And the education will belong into the teaching, learning, and self-development, where a lot of research in terms of self-perceiveness, in terms of the usefulness of the curriculum itself. Yeah, now people are talking about PDPR. Yeah, do you hear that? Because we are not in school. So the PDPR, if you are student in school, then you will have to learn about this PDPR things. Okay, so this education. So in this particular media literacy, now we can see that parents are not that can be able to cope at the maximum level. There are several limitations. Not that they don't want to. Yeah, some they don't have the gadgets, some they don't have enough the laptop, some they don't even understand the curriculum itself to assist the children, in terms of, so in terms of teaching and learning. And the same thing even us in the higher education institutions, yeah, whether our students can really tap in terms of what we're doing in terms of media literacy, in terms of teaching and learning, whether it's available thoughtfully, because through my teaching for the last time, some of my students presented at the bus stop because there's no connections. Yeah, there's no connection, and then some in between the semester floods come in. Yeah, so there's no connection at all. So in terms of teaching and learning, research as well, so we have to look as well this one. Okay, and then there is where this one, I love what Dr. Emma was presenting just now, because UKM did a marvelous work working with the UNESCO. This is what communication, collaboration and participation. This is very, very good, very important. Okay, so in this, we have to make an active role with the UKM, because we're not that big. Okay, and UITM and other university, public or private, must make. So this one I have always make comments to my younger former supervisor, yeah, where they are already teaching in the either public or private institutions. Said I can't even read where is your H index, where is your publication, where is your, I cannot even add you at my grants. Yeah, I cannot even add you at my grant. So that means that you have never applied any FRGS, any long-term grant or something. You did not even participate. I know that you cannot lead, but at least you be in a group of team with senior researcher. That's what I did last time, because I was so close with Kadda, I was so close with Prof Arabic, because I used to take them along. Yeah, when I was a junior lecturer, yeah, I don't care they are UKM or whatsoever, because I need to learn. I need to learn. We need to learn. You got to be friendly. So you will learn one or two things. So in terms of communication, collaboration, it's not only you're looking for a high level, but at least a local level collaborations. Get some grants, little grants. There's a lot of, but during this COVID, I know there's a lot of hurdles, but at least, yeah, put yourself in my grants. Put yourself in my grants. At least you can access. You don't have any Publons or WRS H index. You put Google index. Yeah, there's a lot of things way to work around. Okay, so that we can tap you guys as our in terms of media information literacy group. At least we can collaborate. Okay, that's one thing. Okay. And then in terms of research, in terms of digital identity, well-being, safety, and security, this is a lot of, this is people where we collaborate with the, if in UM, we call it pentadbiran sosial, or the social, pentadbiran sosial, what do you call it? Jabatan apa in UKM, where Dr. Fauzia was there? I'm not so sure what they call it, but this one in terms of social net, social service, in terms of servicing the society, and in terms of digital identity of users, our users, yeah, into that particular spectrum, in terms of data security, okay, in terms of, let's say, you are involved in big data, okay, whether the digital identity of your particular identity will come out in that particular research solely, and people will tap you by the end to spike you. That's also important. Yeah. So in terms of normally the research that I've gone through, the digital identity research that we have in Malaysia, not many, but we do have some intercultural perspective as well. Yeah, people have done that in Sarawak, people have done in Sabah, and people have done in terms of the Malay community. And also within this one, there is one research from medical faculty that done by Prof Adiba, that they were associating with the AIDS group as well, and in terms and digital identity with the AIDS groups as well in terms of users. So there's a lot of perspective. That means that we can collaborate with many other faculties as well. That's another perspective. Okay. So, and then the technical proficiency, of course, how far level, that's what I was talking at the beginning, that one I'm facing as well. All right, technical proficiency. So that's important as well in terms of the ability for us to access the informations. Okay, and of course the creation, innovation, and research as well. Whether our countries be able to cope, or are we all only the nation of users of others' creation, others' creativity? So where are we in terms of innovation and research, in terms of media digital literacy perspective? Okay, so let's come back. All right. So these are the things of perspective for the junior lecturer, for junior researcher, and also for if any journalist. Yeah, we're training for journalists. These are some of the perspectives that you can write as a content, as news perspective. So become smart when you're asking questions. Okay, when you wanted to probe for investigative journalism. All right. So that's perspective as well. All right. So this is the basic things. Whether we go to the basic thing, we must. Yeah, the basic thing of literacy, whether media or not, is a basic of literacy. So that means be able to have the basic things, yeah, to get the informations. How and where and what are the technique and the strategies, and it must be a lifelong learning that we must come together. It's not just be able to read and write. Okay, so and it must have the perspective of knowledge as well. Yeah, we must have the knowledge as well in order to be a good digital citizens, and also in terms of good digital literacy. I mean, researcher or journalist in terms, and it comes with some perspective of attitudes as well. Okay, so that means some intelligence, some perspectives. So, and also we have to ask a question: is there any illiteracy, social inequality in our society? It must. Yeah, we learn so much during COVID. Yeah, we can see that. Okay, even we are in the urban side also. We face a lot of things because I'm staying in Gombak, and how this area is so high density, with the high density compared to my previous Sungai Pecala Taman Tun, which is so superb, the internet. So in Gombak, so I have to like cater with 2 phones and other Wi-Fi in order to get internet connection. So that's also another perspective. So we need skills requirement. Okay, so when you're training for journalists, training for junior lecturers in terms of media information literacy, so you need to point on skills requirements. Yeah, the communication skills. Yeah, you communicate in digital networks effectively. Is there only be able to write on Facebook page only, or IG page only, or can you go further on that? Yeah. So what are the perspectives? And then how about content? Assessing the content itself. What happened to collaborations? You work with other. What about sharing ideas and resources? Okay. So this is some of the questions that we asked the women of Orasli in Gombak last time. We examined their patterns of in terms of what is their online safety issues. So, dia cakap tak ada apa-apa issue. So because I think they go on very don't underestimate them. They are smarter than me, some of them. Yeah. So I wonder what do you use for this one, because they go to schools. Some of their children, some are medical doctor. So they are smart. Yeah, they're smart. They're not there because I said some of them are not working. They're simply a housewife, but they use smartphone and they use all the gadgets that other people are using. Okay, so in terms of we also have to check on online safety. How literate are we on online safety? And then back to the creations, back to the information search and evaluation as well. These are the skill requirements, the basic skill requirements that we have to ponder. So if you're taking into research perspective, these are the things that we should take into considerations. Okay, so I'm going to skip into this one. These are the basic ICT. So these are what are the essential elements that we have. So because some of the research in the US, in Europe, some doesn't include any cultural perspective, but but I love to read some of the paper that have been translated from French. They regarded cultural language as part of the important things in terms of media information literacy as well. So they're very concerned about the language itself in terms of sharing the knowledge, getting the knowledge, assessing the knowledge. So cultural is a big thing for them. Okay? The Indian paper as well, Korea, Japan, yeah, but the US has not so much focusing on the cultural part. So the cognitive part in terms of learning, in terms of the intelligence, in terms of assessing more beneficially, the cognitive part is very important as well. It's not only using for the sake of usage, yeah. So that there must be some cognitive impact in terms when we are assessing. Okay, so we are in the group of students in terms of cognitive impact in terms of usage of online content. Okay, so these are the perspective as well that we need to take. And then the constructive part. How do the constructive part we can? So I remember one of my students did on information sharing for the Indonesians, information sharing. Okay, whether they have, whether it is effective, is constructive enough or not. Yeah, because the nature of the media spectrum in Indonesia is getting better and better day by day. Okay, but whether the constructive, it comes in two sides. Okay, whether the one that deliver the information, okay, the provider, whether they give the design a very constructive media environment and content environment as well. Whether and the user as well, whether they can tap the constructive environment as well, and can they participate in that constructive? Have they become constructive as well in terms of? So these are the particular questions that we have to, the essential elements that is important as well. Okay, and then the communication perspective. That one is not so difficult because we are the norm of communications. Okay, and then the confidence level. How confident that you use, how confident that you wanted to discuss. Some users were not comfortable at all to share any other things because they said that they only can share like things like food, something like that, but they're not in terms of sharing their ideas in order to and it's not confident enough to help others to learn through them. Yeah, other than, but at least some of them confident enough to share other people, but they're not confident enough to create their own opinion for others to share. All right, and then the creativity side as well. Yeah, in terms of whether that one depends. Some of the group how to create the creativity to impart or to share the media information literacy with a certain group. Let's say you're working with women with cancer patient, yeah, women with cancer patients, okay, former cancer patients and survivor. So how creative are you to share with them? Because I joined some of the sukarelawan for the hospital, general hospital in KL. Okay, so we really need to be creative enough without any offending other or the patients or the family members or even the nurses and the doctors in terms of, so the creativity in terms of, let's say we wanted, they're so sick and the family is so tired, but how do you to be so creative in terms of wanted to tap with them, can they get the information via internet, let's say for cancer, for surviving, for financial and stuff like that. So this is very important. Okay, so and then marking the critical point as well here. So what is critical here that we need? What is critical for COVID points? The critical is getting the information across, getting the education across. But yes, 2 days ago, the Prime Minister announced that they are buying the NTV7. Now that some logic kicks in. Yeah, not everyone can afford internet. Not everyone can afford. Yeah, and then there will be some parties say, so what are the teachers going to do? I said, so we have to let go some of the things in terms of servicing. Okay, so there are some critical. So in terms of, it depends on your research. So you have to identify what are the critical points that you wanted to tap through. Okay, so whether it's, and then move on into civic, whether is useful for the public or not, whether it's useful for the public or not. Okay, so these are the 8 elements that essential enough for us in terms of when we're working with digital media literacy. Okay, so at least so some of the things that we are in terms of skills, and also we can access the information in intelligent way, and also transform information into knowledge. That's the thing. The thing that I wanted to. We can be able to have certain quarters. Yes, so what Dr. Emma is doing now is very good. Okay, at least she will have, and the whole group can have to transform the information into knowledge and useful for the society. So that's very important. Okay, so and then we also have to ask here, okay, where do we stand in terms of access, in terms of investigative, in terms of access, in terms of investigative, in terms of content itself, where are we? Yeah, do we have enough analysis on that? Can we differentiate? Okay, can we differentiate, right, in terms of what we have here? Because I've checked some of the media literacy research from Malaysia itself, which is not really covering most of the perspective. Okay, and then this is that's where we're lacking. So hopefully, I really appreciate whatever you're doing to the Emma, so that this is will give a big contribution. Okay, so other research. All right. So these are some of the things. Who consume digital content? Who consume digital content? So what happened to them? So is there any issue on digital literacy itself? Is there any digital citizen issues itself? Who are digital citizens here? Who are the digital citizens here? Okay, so are there regulators? Are there normal people? Are there PDRM or what? Are there or medical perspective? Who are these digital citizens? Okay, and who do you like to attach with? Okay, so and when you're calling you are digital citizens, why? Right, in what perspective? And then what are type of skills and knowledge of ICTs that govern some of the things here? All right, and then we have to also question on participation in the society itself in terms of Tara. Is not only be able to make a phone call in terms of this is crucial in terms of if we wanted MRL to go through. So these are the very important perspective that we really have to dig out. Okay, can we be able to get this one right? All right. So in terms of, I wanted to go into the digital citizenships. Who are these people? Including we, yeah, can we, yeah, so we these are some of the things that when people talk about media information literacy, so where are we? Level 1, level 2, level 3. So in terms of your research, so you have to perspective where are you getting the door at? So is it level 1, level 2, 3? Yeah, so that's mixed, because in terms of this particular level, that will make a hit through your publications. Yeah, publication. If you're going into only level 1 itself, how many journals are covered on level 1? There's tons of it already. Okay, so in terms of level 2, unless you really dig up this thing into a very supernatural perspective, then maybe you can get into journal publication. But in terms of level 3, this is where the level 3 creation, production, and also the impact of this particular these three things, okay, the whole group of these three levels, okay, can we actually call our users digital citizenship for Malaysian? I'm asking, can we? Where are we? All right. How many actually can actually merge into all these three levels? Are we? Maybe me, some of it, not all. I don't call it all. Yeah. So we have to look into this particular level where we do it, and then the pattern of consumable knowledge reservoir itself, can they actually tap and participate over the cuff in terms of when they call themselves a digital citizenship as well. So whether it's really useful or not to have the society. All right. So when we call this one, this what I call the younger one is digital native, where they were born into the digital age already. Okay, so we have to learn a lot from them. So, but in terms of digital native themselves, okay, digital native themselves, what are the levels are they? Can they really, yeah? Can they access the information? If you call your digital citizen shape and digital native, but you hardly access any news, hardly know what's going on in the political, economic, and development of our country, what's the point? Yeah, and we ask you how many cabinet member in Malaysia. I don't know. I'm not interested in politics. That's very dangerous answer from the younger group. Okay, so in terms of, I'm a bit worried in terms of accessing news. Yeah, I know that they don't like to read newspaper, but in terms of accessing news, there's so many. Astro can go on the go. Yeah, CNN, BBC, and Malaysian Astro, TV3. There's a lot of news, but hardly access this particular. So where are we? We're asking about, and then the information literacy, fake news. Okay, so literacy or fake news in terms. I know that MCMC has created one portal called sebenar.com, and there's a lot of fake news portal in US, UK, in Europe as well, where you can check and directly you know that news whether it's fake or not. But for in Malaysia, they already have sebenar.com, so which is quite good lah, quite good. In terms, but there's a lot of now the hurdle is that the fake news coming into not through Facebook or Instagram as much, it coming into WhatsApp. That being recycled and it's a lot of believers into that. Okay, so group mengaji, group tak mengaji, group coming and with all sorts. Yes, Emma. Yes, a lot. Chang, do you receive or not? All this. I'm sure you receive this particular.
Every day, almost every day. Yeah.
Yes, ayam tak sembelih, then you panic. And then this one got whatever lah. And then you got panic. All this fake news. Okay, so I'm glad that but I'm not so sure whether this group mengaji, group tak mengaji, this one access sebenar.com or not. Yeah. So and oh God, when I receive all these things every morning, so there's like hundreds of like all this news, video sharing that I'm not so sure whether it's true or not. So you have to check all the time. So it's very important also this case that we have this one. Yeah. Okay, so in terms of promoting digital literacy, so I'm going into the last one, right? The ethical values as well. So I'm sure some other research that will go for following the ethical values. So when we talk about cultural, so there are some ethical values, but in terms of ethical values, it's not like stopping people from accessing the knowledge. Yeah, so it's very important as well. But in terms of useless, how do you call it? It's unethical to do it. Unethical to do it. So the ethical base also is also. But this one, the ethical values is research is not much here. It's not much here. But you can find some some in other countries. Okay, a lot on but not in Malaysia. I don't find it. All right. So and then the question is that whether is it worth to share or not? How do you make decision? I not share. Boleh tak I kongsi? Can I share or not? Where do you make the decisions? How do you make decisions? Okay. Some things are very little. Cannot read. Okay. So how do you make a decision that how do you relay the facts? Yeah. Whether it is okay or not? Is it biased or not? Is it sneaky or not? Is it my news or is it their news? Is it opinion or not? Opinionated or not? Yeah. Is it can it raise awareness? Okay. So the question of is it share worthy or not? All right. So it's very important as well. So that's the skill as well. Right. And then critical reading. Okay. Critical reading. Okay. Okay. This is I had my last semester. I had 2 classes for the masters, and students come from all over the world. Yeah, and then 30% make up from the China mainland, right? And then you know that China cannot get Google, WhatsApp like us because they use different unless they hired they pay special VPN, then they can access. Yeah, they can access. So they use their Baidu, they use their term, they call it differently. Okay, but it's similar, but only access to them, right? So so it's very important when I ask them to read, yeah, do the critical reading. Yeah, I have one class on ethical on media law and policy. So in terms of reading, I ask them to do the critical reading. Give them critical reading. It's very difficult actually to make people to do critical reading and help them to do the in order to access. So I ask them to reflect themselves and write a very simple essay within 30 minutes. Then I give them one week already time for critical reading. Okay, access, and I give them the URL to read. Okay, so I make sure that I said when you submit your answer, I said within the next week class meeting, the answer, make sure that you run it through turn it in. Turn it in. So that they know that I don't want them to copy from other people because it's so easy to cut and paste over internet. Okay, so in terms of within, you know, how many words do they manage to write after 1 week of reading, and they have their reading materials in front of them as well. Within 30 minutes, they can only write less than 1 paragraph for master's level. Yeah, so I have to extend the answer time so that they can expand. Then we get around like 3 paragraphs. So I can tap here that the critical reading skills is not there at all. So I have to do drill. Yeah, I make sure that do drill that I make sure, so I have to go individual. I have to go individual, so I have to ask questions, reading, go drilling. So critical reading is very important in terms of we are dissecting any information resources over the net. Yeah. So what we were talking, the very simple in terms of creative industry, in terms of media industry, because our business is always content. So I asked them to talk about type of rights. Yeah, I asked them how many Cannes Film Festival have they sharing into selling rights. How many millions of rights have been sold by Hollywood? Yeah, what type of rights? So these are the resources where you can easily. So but I tap the URL, let them read. So in terms of critical reading, get it fast, is not really high. So it's very important here in terms of where we can tap. Then we can go lower and lower, and then we can see that where are the levels in terms of tapping information over the net. Yeah.
Datin, sorry, I think that I'm also a timekeeper. I know that you have another 11 more slides, but the time is up. but I hope you don't mind that take a
Let me
5
conclude.
minutes from Kak Da to wrap it up.
Yeah. All
Okay,
right.
5 minutes. Okay, please.
Okay. Let me conclude. So some of the things. So I hope really that the perspective that I shared just now can inject some ideas where the research in media and information literacy can take perspective, because there are some our junior staff are here, our junior lecturers, junior colleague here, and also students probably. Okay, so in terms of opinion, in terms of media information literacy, is very important for us to have the information management perspective as well. And yeah, so this is some of the things that before we call ourselves I am a digital citizen. So this is very important. What type of management do we have? So some of the research in terms of information management, in terms of time management, in terms of assessing management. So this is very important, whether it is useful or not for you. Yeah. So this time is not on our side. Okay. So these are a lot of things. So this is the things that I was sharing earlier just now, where we had a research with the Orang Asli engagement program, where we tap on them, how do they assess online news portal. So we examine then what type of news portal do they read. So they are very good. They can identify our mainstream newspaper, our Malaysia Kini, our online portal. They can tap. So they are quite good. They're quite good. Okay, so not so bad. So when we call them minority and marginal community, it's not that marginal. Okay. That one in Gombak, but I'm not so sure what happened in Tapa and some other things, what happened in Bloom Forest. But even in Bloom Forest also, we did some research. They are rather good in terms of the internet, accessing internet. But in terms of the level of news is not that level 3. So it's not that level 3. So but they can answer certain number of things that when we ask them. Okay, so I think I stop my presentations here because time is not on our time. Okay, thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you so much, Dr. Emma. Okay, I apologize because I was panic in beginning because I'm not so sure where the perspective of this particular thing. Because I am not so sure whether I have enough time or not. But I'm so happy to see the family faces, Kak Da, okay, Dr. Chang, okay, and all of you. All right. Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you very much, Datin. Please stay with us for until 12 o'clock. Okay. I think that we have a Q&A, and I know that Dr. Emma has some question to ask, but I keep it towards the end, please. And I know you have a lot of sharing. That I think that only thing is the time is not permitted. That is what that we have to constrain. So sorry, I think that Datin, I have to play my role. And I know that Datin, you share with us, definitely you, Kak Da, and we are not the digital native. But we cannot run away, still somehow rather a digital citizen, right? So I think that you raise a question of the digital media literacy. Okay, I think that we are actually talking about the same thing here, but you raise a question that you are actually very clear in detail on the level, either that we are level 1, level 2, or level 3. I think that there are actually more questions to ask, and I will keep it there. And for the participant, especially I know that the young scholar now, they are actually very close to the digital native. So please put your question first in the chat box, and we will have the Q&A later on. So the next one, I know that Kak Da is also waiting already. So thanks a lot. Maybe Datin that you can, okay. So that Kak Da can get ready your slide. And while I'm actually introducing no strangers to all of us here, Prof. Dr. Faridah Ibrahim. And Prof. Faridah is a professor in journalism and communication. And currently, Prof. Faridah is the head of postgraduate program in communication at Faculty of Business, Information, and Human Sciences, Infrastructure University Kuala Lumpur, UKL. And also she was the former executive dean at the faculty. And I have to specially mention here, Kak Da has actually served UKM for 28 years. And also, I think that Dr. Emma knows, and you are her successor, and I know, and
So
she
many.
actually served a long time as our chair of mention, and also she was instrumental in positioning the prestigious journal Komunikasi. And I think that nowadays a lot of young scholars are actually trying themselves to put into our Scopus Index, Malaysia Journal of Communication. Okay, I think that is where, thanks a lot to Kak Da. And I must mention also Kak Da is actually obtained her degree in mass communication from UITM, and then Master of Arts in Journalism from University of Missouri, Columbia, USA, and the doctor degree from UPM and training with School of Journalism and Mass Communication, University Minnesota, Twin Cities, USA also. And she was also the former chair of Council of Head of Communication Study in Malaysia, or in short, we call COHEX, under the Ministry of Higher Education. And also, she was a member of Board of Directors in 3 organizations, Bernama, Finas, and TV Al Hisra. And her area of specialization include journalism, communication, and media ethics. And she was a former journalist in the national newspaper. Without further ado, I think that the slide is there already. Ladies and gentlemen, I hand over the session to Prof. Faridah Ibrahim with her speech on media and journalism curriculum evaluation in Malaysia. Over to you, Kak Da. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I have to call him Prof. Chang because he is our current visiting professor in Infrastructure University, Kuala Lumpur. For 3 years, his appointment. My sincere thanks, to my beloved chair of the school, Associate Professor Dr. Emma, and to all my brothers and sisters. It's great to be here. It has been a long time that we have not met. Of course, some of you were in touch with me, on the phone, asking for how am I doing, Dr. Jam, very concerned about his big sister here, Dr. Wan, Dr. Noy,
examiner.
And sometimes I serve as external examiner for mention and also for several what do you call it, center, like Center for Language, Pusat Pengajian Bahasa. I served like a couple of times as examiners, for their PhD students. All right, Dr. Emma invited me to present a talk on media journalism curriculum evaluation in Malaysia. Now, I would say that I am a little bit off, I think, in terms of catching up, with journalism, because I have not been teaching journalism ever since I joined IUKL. I think it's about like 7 years now, in IUKL, and I've been teaching corporate communication. That is the thrust of our studies in IUKL. But of course, at the master's and PhD, I still do supervision for journalism for students who want to go into journalism issues. So I've done a couple of supervision on journalism. But I'm also in touch, even though I am out of touch in the formal journalism education, like I was in UKM, several years ago. But I'm also in touch, I would say, with the current situation, because I sit in the as the jury, for the Malaysian Press Award, for MPI, and I've been, judging on the current state of journalism performed by our local journalists, in print media, broadcast media, and also online media. And I can see there are some development there. Yeah, even though I would say that it's not as great as development that we can see in in UK or in US, right? So my area would be media and journalism curriculum evaluation in Malaysia, and Datin has covered a lot, yeah, on MIL. I would just touch a little bit on MIL towards the end of this slide. All right, so basically, I think all of us know in terms of what's the situation of our journalism in Malaysia. All right, we are faced with the demise of several newspapers. Yeah, like I was from Utusan, Malaysia. It was a grand old newspaper, very popular, and last year it has to close shop. All right, so all because they are not able to meet the demand, current demand, yeah, in terms of circulation. The traditional media, traditional newspapers, they are losing out, yeah, from the challenge of the new media. So basically, we have a journalism scholar, Van Hurst, who said that journalism is in a crisis. So, and that year was just current, yeah. It's just like a couple of years back, yeah, 2011. And slowly, yeah, gradually we can see that it is happening to the journalism fraternity, yeah, to the journalism schools. We need to upgrade, right? So we are talking about traditional media versus new media, and the decline of the newspapers readership and increasing interest in audio, visual, and mobile media content. So they lose out from the challenges from the multimedia updates, mobile media content, yeah, and the challenges that has brought by social media, and this social media come in various, yeah, in multifarious channels, like everybody of you, as Datin say, the digital natives, yeah. I myself am not, yeah. I started off doing journalism, yeah, especially when we do newspaper publication, all right. Even when I start in UKM, we start off with just coal block, yeah. And then we slowly move on. Coal block meaning to say is from the metal, yeah, the coal metal, and they have to arrange, yeah, the coal blocks, and it becomes, the news column, and there they start printing. All right, so it's very, very, very traditional. All right, that was in the 80s. All right, and then slowly in 90s we have the Macintosh coming in, and slowly we have the front end electronic production. All right, so in terms of experience, yeah, I started off as a journalist using typewriter. Yeah, I think some of you have not seen the typewriter, yeah, because you're born with computers. All right, so start with typewriter, and then and then slowly come into the current, yeah, modern day computerization. So it is such, I would say, such an evolution, yeah, even to the extent of having cultural shock, yeah, and especially now with Zoom, yeah, it is definitely a cultural shock for me. When I started teaching on Zoom, yeah, last March, yeah, when MCO was implemented, well, I have to get a very short course from my son, yeah, all my sons are all digital natives, yeah, they're great. All right, and sometimes they lose patience teaching me, yeah, an old timer. Okay, so the evolution is there. I can see clearly, yeah, and it's such a big gap, a huge gap, yeah, from how it started and how journalism is today, right? And so we can see that even not only journalism is in a crisis, we can see that journalism education, also media education, yeah, also need to respond to the onslaught of social media. All right, so we have UNESCO that questions, yeah, and also questions that have been raised by many J schools in the world. Yeah, how can journalism education continue to renew itself? If it fails, yeah, then definitely will be off job, yeah, off place, yeah, in the current globalized world. So two situations need to be evaluated here. So basically, we are stuck, yeah, with the historical trajectories through which journalism education has evolved, and a call to renegotiate the future trajectory of media and journalism education. Whether we like it or not, yeah, we have to embrace it and we have to really upgrade ourselves. All right, if we look at the situation before and now, conventional journalism, we used to have the journalists who are the figures of authority. They have good access to news sources. I started from there. Yeah, I have good sources in terms of, I'm very, very in touch with the ministers, yeah, as our news sources. Very easy to get access to them. And then the gatekeepers, the editors, they're very strong. They're the one who set the agenda. And public basically trust. Yeah, they tell accurate, fair, objective, and quick news. Audience rely on conventional news sources. I remember whenever I balik kampung, yeah, friends, they know that I'm working in the newspaper. Friends gathered around me and start asking what's going on. Well, that was in the 80s. Yeah, nowadays you don't get all those because they get information on their smartphone. Yeah, old or young, yeah, they get information on the smartphone. And if we look at the current situation, yeah, we have Web 2.0. Our journalism have to move, yeah, to journalism 2.0. The internet has transformed news industry, social media sites affecting the nature of journalistic identity. Yeah, slowly they are inching in what the journalists boast years ago, yeah, in terms of their credibility and superiority, yeah, in terms of handling news. But now the social media is slowly coming in, transform how journalists are viewed. And then we have the rise of CJ, citizen journalism, citizen journalists, and Mojo, the mobile journalists. And these people, yeah, majority have no, they have education, but not necessarily from the formal journalism education, right? And we are in that situation whereby we train future journalists, and we have the proper structure, the proper curriculum, teaching and exposing future graduates to ethics. But the CJ and Mojo, they come in because they are good in language, they are good in IT, all right, and they have the accessibility of new technology. So the moment you have all the three things, they can be CJ, yeah, they can be Mojo, and so on, right? And this is a great challenge to our graduates, yeah, journalism graduates and media graduates, all right? And the audience create, nowadays we have a very literate audience, audience create their own judgment and they want to create their own content. Creating their own content is easy, yeah, we'll go into that later in terms of their accessibility to the digital, network. All right, if you can remember, yes, some of you have gone through media school, journalism school, mass communication school. We started off, the conventional journalism courses like news writing and reporting, news editing. Yeah, nowadays news editing is not really in the limelight. Yeah, those days news editing are great. Yeah, it really makes you a great writer. Yeah, because you go through news editing, but nowadays you have Ginger. Yeah, you have Thesaurus, you have all the software to help you to do all the editing. Editorial writing, feature writing, newspaper production, magazine publishing, global journalism. These are some of the few journalism subjects that yeah, some of you might have taken this. I know that Prof. Chang, yeah, you're in that group, yeah. Okay, but now you see a, a shift, yeah, a transformation in journalism education. You have yeah, you like it or not, you have to embrace it. Yeah, you have to offer. I know that UKM offer a couple of the subjects under journalism 2.0. Yeah, we have web journalism, we have online journalism, data journalism, mobile journalism, digital journalism, citizen journalism. We have media convergence, and the list of new journalism 2.0 are being offered. All right, meaning to say that we educators, yeah, communication and journalism educators are abreast, yeah, abreast in terms of the current need. All right, it is important, yeah, when we talk about journalism education and the curriculum, it is important that we have to stay relevant. All right, and there is this need to integrate the use of social media and mobile web 2.0, yeah, coined by O'Reilly, within the delivery of media and journalism courses. We have to look back, yeah, if we have not added, yeah, added no value added to our subjects, we have to look back at our curriculum, yeah, especially journalism and media courses. The pedagogy 2.0, the pedagogy has changed. Yeah, it has moved to a critical framework for integrating social media in journalism education, and it has shifted. Yeah, the focus of the pedagogy, yeah, the content, quality of content has shifted. Yeah, from what it used to be teacher-generated content. Yeah, all the time it is like you know, enhanced or being passed from the lecturers to the students. But now, yeah, with new media, it is learner generated content and also learner generated context. It is also important, yeah, increasing communities of practice or COP. Yeah, it is a social learning theory from Life and Wenger that empower community participation from periphery to full participation. So basically, we do have like broadcast journalism, yeah, do play a role in this, yeah, when we have, you know, the broadcasters, they will come in with the voice from the population, yeah, and basically these are voice from the public, yeah, voice from the community. And where journalism is concerned, we need to pay attention to empowering the people, right, the audience, because the audience are no longer the passive audience. They are very active, yeah, active because they are exposed, yeah, to the new technology, yeah, to the digital, you know, benefits there. So they have moved from just passive, yeah, periphery to a very full participation, yeah, in terms of audience. It could be readers, TV audience, or you know, internet surfers. And it is also important, yeah, that whatever we do at the universities level, yeah, we need to meet, yeah, the industry, the demands of the industry, yeah, particularly the media industry and communication industry, and also the changing ecosystem. All right, we have talked a lot on the need, yeah, to merge or to converge journalism with the new media, yeah, or else we will be left behind, right? So I would like to share a few areas on social media, yeah, trying to understand what the social media is all about. I know all of you have your Facebook, yeah, have Instagram, yeah, some have Twitter, yeah, blogs, and so on. All right. So how do we classify, yeah, in terms of social media? It is any digital tool or venue that allows individuals to socialize on the web. A social network is a social structure of individuals and or organizations that are tied together in some manner. And there are several major categories for social network. And we can see that broadly based general social networking sites seek to appeal to all demographics. It provides avenues for interpersonal communication, sharing of events, making news, new friends. And then Facebook is the most well-known general social network site. And a niche social networking site focus on the interest, hobby, or demographic group, such as LinkedIn. I think everybody here, yeah, have that connection because being educators or scholars, yeah, sometimes it's good to have that network because that's where you link with people in your own specialization, area of focus, yeah, area of interest, and so on. And there is like a exchange of scholarly ideas, yeah, on LinkedIn. And these offer interactions between scholars and business people. And if we look at the social media sites, yeah, the social media landscape rapidly evolves. Overall, we would say that female utilize social media more than male, and approximately 42% of online consumers contact multiple sites. And of course, we have Instagram, very popular. Yeah, Instagram enthusiasts tend to be young, wealthy, and female. Almost 60% visit Instagram daily. And two most popular tactics on Instagram are contests and crowdsourcing for photo to encourage involvement and social sharing. Right, so Instagram is one area that perhaps COP or communities of practice could embark on, yeah, especially when you go into journalism education and training our students, yeah, to focus on COP, right? So perhaps Instagram, yeah, merging journalism education with Instagram, yeah, is also a strategic move. And then of course Facebook, yeah, it is the largest social media site, hosts more than 1.2 billion users worldwide. It captures approximately 73% of social media advertising dollars, yeah, according to AdWeek. FB's popularity comes from a blend of sheer site, record of publishing useful content, and extent of interaction available, and able to target audience, mobile services and mobile devices based on individuals' activity outside of the site. So we can see that the current trend, yeah, in terms of journalism education, yeah, there should be a blend, yeah, of the all traditional philosophical or news worthy kind of content. Yeah, we have to empower it also with new media. Yeah, how we use Facebook to circulate or disseminate information. And then of course, Pinterest, the bulletin board style social site on which individuals can post photos and image based on articles about events, special interests, or hobbies. It hosts about 70 million people, with 70% are female. Yeah, and then Pinterest is also good for featuring fashion and dining. We have companies well-known, yeah, well-known conglomerates like Amazon, Walmart, Apple, Netflix, yeah, very much into Pinterest. Click-through rates and impression tend to be high for food and clothing brands on Pinterest, and for journalists, yeah, for journalism, it will be great, yeah, especially lifestyle writers, yeah, to go into Pinterest. And of course, the fastest growing is YouTube. All right, the fastest growing area of social media network involve posting videos, especially on YouTube. And I think our educators, yeah, are also, yeah, converging with the traditional teaching of journalism, yeah, with the new media, especially with social media, especially YouTube. It creates venue for fans to interact with brands or current issues or news, and they move from being passive to passionate fans who use video to share thoughts. And second trend includes video reviews. Audience create videos in which they talk about the news and their experiences, posting of how to videos. Yeah, we have lots of this nowadays, and news got viral. Yeah, got into YouTube, and the whole world, yeah, get to see it, right? And you got to see the case of the latest social harassment, yeah, by the police, yeah, in terms of a lady driver and questioning about, going out braless and that kind of thing, right? So it got viral, yeah, and how are we as journalism educators coming in, yeah, to handle, yeah, such viral, yeah, such news that have become viral. So blending journalism and social media is something that we have to live with, yeah, in today's world. All right. What are the main motivation behind audience involvement, which include communication interaction? They are more involved when news messages feature compelling and interesting context, and building social media presence. Yeah, normally for journalism, students, yeah, they can choose one or two or three platform, yeah, to focus their news, yeah, to blend their content, yeah, with the social media. And some of the areas, yeah, some of the network that we can go into, yeah, could be content seeding, real-time news breaking, influencer, and of course we have influencer that's very popular in marketing and advertising. We have video footage, consumer-generated review, viral news, and interactive blog. All right, content seeding. Normally, it offers audience incentive to share content about certain issues. Yeah, we got to see the media industry. They are becoming very, very interactive now. Yeah, uh, because of the new media, and they are soliciting news or coverage or footage, yeah, from citizen journalists and also mobile journalists, right? And content seeding, it can be information, uniqueness, or anything that engage and motivate, the audience, yeah, to share. And form of seeding could be, yeah, media companies. I know that media companies also pay, yeah, to the Mojo or to CJ a certain amount of incentive, yeah, for sending in news footage, right? And offering value added incentive or exclusive to make audience feel special. Once upon a time, the audience are just on the outside, yeah, passive, patiently waiting for the news of the day in the evening, or waiting for the news of the day for the next day's newspaper. But nowadays they are very, very active, yeah, active audience that also want to be a part of the news process. Real-time news breaking is the creation and circulation of an instantaneous message in response to and in conjunction with an occurrence during a live event, seeking human emotions and reactions to live events, offering audience incentive to share content about certain issues. So that is real-time news breaking. We have cases of sometimes the journalists could not be on time, yeah, reaching to a certain place. Perhaps there is earthquake, yeah, natural catastrophe or tsunami, and they get to have the footage, yeah, from the local, right? Now all those are being given just by having smartphone nowadays, yeah, they can give good footage to the news industry. Influencer involve an individual endorsing issues on social media sites to transmit positive word of mouth, comments from individuals who are seen as thought or opinion, leaders within their social circles or experts within particular field. And the most effective influencer are individuals who lead conversations and shape opinions. And to be effective, audience must consider influencer to be authentic, not as paid spokesperson. So basically, influencer versus celebrities. Yeah, sometimes influencer make lots of hit. Yeah, compared to celebrity. So newspapers or media or broadcast, yeah, online platform, yeah, can make use of influencer, yeah, to add value to their news. And then we have video footage, YouTube and other video sharing platform, which present unique opportunities. Media companies produce two types of videos for online posts, informational and instructional videos. Another approach involves posting videos with PR and cost-related marketing messages and paying individuals to discuss certain issues, creating a video and call them as blogger. All right, and we have audience-generated review. Media company provide a space where audience can write reviews, start rating and notes, and enhance. And this will enhance the audience-generated content and also the audience-generated context. And viral news, we are not new to viral news. All right. Basically, you have the plus and you have the minus. Yeah, viral could be fake news. Sometimes you need to feed positive information and make it viral, right? And we need to educate our, our young ones, yeah, especially in the media and journalism school, yeah, to make or take advantage of viral news, yeah, preparing a message to be passed to one audience to another through digital means and in the form of emails, video to a personal blog and passed to another blogs or websites such as YouTube, and it is voluntarily passed to another individual, and it includes current news, ads, hyperlink, promotions, newsletter, streaming videos, and games. All right, and then we have the interactive blogs. It permits visitors to send comments or posts, making them another important component of social media. Blogs that attract followers and encourage active participation become very, very powerful. And of course, we have various different kinds of blogs. Yeah, it could be a company-based blog or individual-based blog. Yeah, individual-based blog. Journalists could capitalize. Yeah, can capitalize on this. Yeah, besides their normal day-to-day routine in writing news, they could also create their own blog. So why? Yeah, why journalism 2.0? So basically, we cannot. The situation is as such. Yeah, we cannot put aside. Yeah, the onslaught of new technology. Yeah, in this globalized world, we need to maintain and stay engaged with the audience and increase news and information exposure. And if we go into journalism 2.0, there'll be increase in traffic, yeah, enhance in news circulation, enhance in terms of news exposure. You are able to have engagement with the audience, yeah, enhance interactivity, and also at the same time you are able to develop loyal news fans. So we are not talking about the usual readership, yeah, that advertisers who want to go into, yeah, they will look at the readership. Yeah, those were the days when they want to advertise, yeah, or choose the channels that they want to advertise your commercial. But nowadays, yeah, they will go into in terms of the number of hits, so on. So what is the current focus? of media and journalism education in Malaysia. I would say that several of you are journalism lecturers, yeah, also broadcast lecturers, and also dealing with media, media studies. So basically, you are into it. Yeah, you are into it, incorporating mobile web 2.0 and social media and journalism and media curricula. But the question is, to what extent? All right. How far are you in terms of incorporating the social media with your uh, traditional uh, traditional uh, information dissemination, using our old philosophy, and how much you incorporate the use of social media in your perhaps practical, for the students, in their assignments and so on. Nowadays, we get our students to use their cell phone, to do the assignment. All right. Authentic use of cell phone within journalism context. We try to have them to embed the use of Twitter in class. Blogs are used where students were required to comment and post comment. And of course, we have various areas of media studies, journalism, broadcasting, advertising, public relation courses are using smartphone, camera phones and iPhones for recording and footage. And this add on to the value that they are getting from journalism education and media studies at the university. Now, some lesson from World J schools, University of Missouri, Columbia, University of Wisconsin, Madison, and University of Texas, Austin. They say that basically the tools that we are using, could be obsolete, and perhaps by the time students graduate, all right, and they might not be up to the pace that the industry or the media industries or communication industries are at. They need to have some critical skills. And when we talk about critical skills, actually, we have that in our what they call it blueprint pathway of communication studies, whereby when I was the COHEX chair, Council of Heads of Communication Education in Malaysia, we conducted nationwide research, and that was in sometime in 2009, and the book was published in 2010, and the blueprint become some kind of reference, for communication studies. Actually, we have already mentioned about being critical. We have identified, being critical, strategic skills. We have to enhance strategic skills in our education, our media and journalism education. We also emphasize on innovation, patriotism, worldview, right? And that is stated in number 5 and 6 of page 9 in COHEX book, right? So basically, it is there. We already got some foresight in terms of, and that was like how many years back? 10 years, 11 years back, all right? And at that time, we have not expected the demise of newspapers and the closing of media house and so on. Right? But already we have the data. We got the data, and the data are being given by students, by academicians, and also by the people in the industry. So it is already there. They're already talking about tablet newspaper. The tablet newspaper actually is the smartphone. You get your news on the smartphone. So it is already there. It is in our blueprint. It's just that perhaps communication school or media school, yeah, have not really gone into, you know, into the suggestion, right? Into this suggestion. So I would say that perhaps the young generation like you guys, yeah, should be involved again, yeah, with, you know, with the Ministry of Higher Education, and perhaps you revisit, yeah, the blueprint that we have come up with, right? I know that, I think from my
Time is
committee,
almost
I
up.
have, yeah, time's up.
Yeah, I give you 3 more minutes.
Okay,
Prof.
sure,
Faridah, then
sure,
you
sure.
stand up the 5
Finishing.
slides. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So basically, I would suggest that, yeah, now that with media literacy committee and so on, yeah, we need to add on, yeah, for this blueprint, yeah, for communication. All right, 7 pointers by the world top 3J schools. Yeah, focus on storytelling, communicate, and, you know, add on, yeah, with digital communication input. Create graduates that is T-shaped, means to say holistic and well-rounded graduates. Our graduates have to be digital agility, yeah. They have to be agile, yeah, with digital specialization, as expert on that, like video broadcast, social media, mobile apps, yeah. Real world and professional experiences, I guess we have that in terms of internship, yeah. Strategic thinking, understanding audience and media literacy, content packages, all right. So these are 7 pointers by the 3 top J school. And some of the positive impact of journalism 2.0 would be enhanced media information literacy. Students are the iPad generation and they are empowered by the use of all the new media. Bridge the gap between students, classroom learning and environment. They have to enhance their learning experience, harness their journalistic professionalism, and enable student-generated content and student-generated context. However, there are some pitfalls. Yeah, we talk about the good side, the benefits of journalism 2.0. The pitfall would be overload of information. How are we going to tackle that? How to build a community of practice. Yeah, who is the good to follow and will fill their inbox with irrelevant information. Identify fake Twitter accounts and how to fulfill the awareness of social media in the public forum, and requires professional behavior. Right. So as a conclusion, the option is of course MIL. Yeah, media information literacy. A literate person possess and intentionally apply a wide range of skills, competencies, knowledge, and disposition, as well as attitudes. To be global citizen, yeah, to be literate citizen, yeah, you need to participate effectively and critically in network world, explore and engage critically, consume, curate, and create. Yeah, meaning to say you have to be very, very sensitive to your environment, and you reach out, yeah, to the committed audience. You have engagement, yeah, with the audience, examine the rights, responsibilities, and ethical implications, recognize and honor multilingual literacy, build and sustain global and intercultural connectedness, solve problems collaboratively and share responsibility, and promote critical literacy online and offline. So I think with that, yeah, Prof. Chang, I'm done.
Thank you very much, Prof.
Yeah.
Faridah.
Thank you.
I'm so sorry to have to rush you. And
no, it's okay. Yeah, it's good.
I look at it that the secretary is a little bit cruel to me because why? I'm a moderator and yet they added a duty as a timekeeper as well. So that's why that I have to keep to the time, right? So, okay, actually, before I proceed, and just for the information of Prof. Faridah, and there are actually a few messages left for you. I think that from Dr. Emma, Dr. Malia, Dr. Jam, and Dr. Shafi. You can click on the chat box, the chat box, and you can read from there. And earlier, I think that also for Datin, that there are also messages from Dr. Emma, Dr. Azo, and also Dr. Norma. I think that you could have read And also I know there are also another secret admirer. I can see her face, his face here. Malu-malu kucing asking for slide from Datin. And I think that likewise is also asking from Prof. Faridah as well. So, but I leave it to the Secretariat to handle this matter because they find that there are actually so many information and so rich of the knowledge. I think that want to learn from you all, but the time is actually too packed. So I leave it to the Secretary to get the permission from you to share the slide if you wish that you think that you want to do so. But I know Dr. Emma has a lot of questions. In particular, she asked Datin. Maybe since she's here, and I leave it to her to ask Datin and then also to ask Prof. Faridah. I think that I saw the messages there. And then after that, I'll invite some other speaker later, participant later on. Dr. Emma, please ask question. We have only another 10 minutes only.
Oh, well, I just wanted to, I think I put it in the chat box already. Just wanted to learn about, you know, your collaboration with MK and how did you started that collaboration with MK, Datin? Because I do feel that corporate bodies, they should play a role as well in, you know, increasing MIL level among communities. And they have the resources. We just want to learn how do we want to tap into these resources so that they could, you know, give us some funds to do research or to do community work, you know, under their name as well. So that is for Datin. And Prof. Faridah, I was having a discussion actually with Dr. Jem in the chat box because I was thinking, you know, because there's so many people who don't have any training in journalism, in media, but they go out and they claim to be, you know, media entrepreneurs. They, you know, they open their own online portals and they do so much better than our own students, our own graduates. Maybe because they are more business savvy, they know how to, you know, attract advertisers and attract more people to like their or to read their news. But you know, there's also a lot of ethical concerns here because they are not trained and they don't probably have that the responsibility, you know, as to hold as a fourth estate. You know, the media as the fourth estate. And Dr. Jem added that, you know, because I think our graduates, not all of them are content experts. Like sometimes people I know, like people from law comes in to become journalists because they have that, you know, training in they read law, so they know you know, how to write it more properly, but they are not really trained you know, in journalism. So I was toying with the idea, maybe us as journalism educators, our universities, should think about, you know, maybe it's time to lobby for micro-credential courses to get those who don't have the proper training in journalism to come to university to take, I don't know, 1 semester, 2 semesters, just, you know, just to complete the basic at least MIL training, so that they go out and they have that awareness and responsibility when they write. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Emma. Yeah, because I think that maybe the question is there. I think there are actually few questions there. Maybe Datin answer first, then after that I'll invite Prof. Faridah to respond to what Dr. Emma's question. Datin, please, can you unmute? You have not unmuted. Datin, you have not unmuted. Datin, you unmute. Can you unmute? Yeah, okay. Please. Can you respond to, yeah.
Yes. I've seen that Dr. Emma has written on the chat box.
Yeah.
Okay. So she was asking about the collaboration with MK. Dr. Emma, last time we have one Tok Datin as our professor, so it's a bit easy. You know what Prof Julie? Prof Julie Edo. Now he's the director of Jakwa. So our connections with MK Land is a bit easier when we have one Tok Datin with us. So that's why we get MK Land fund. But now Prof Julie is already working as the director of Jakwa. So if he still keep in touch with the collaborations with MK Land, I'm not so sure. But MK did contributed quite a big sum of money to the faculty. So it was distributed a little bit to few areas lah. So we got it through our Tok Datin. That's how we get it. So in terms of getting connection, this is kita kena cari dah who are the Tok Datin actually. Must have the linkages. Okay, so I'm proud that you get the UNESCO grants, UNICEF grants. Okay, so you must have the connections there. So I think this, and then yeah, it's very important to have for us to have connection with other corporate bodies. But post-COVID, within COVID and post-COVID, I'm not so sure the sustainability to get that. It's very tough actually. Yeah, it's very tough to get.
Thank you, Datin.
That's
I think that the connection is very important. And actually, we lost Prof. Julie Edo, formerly my tutor, and then after that, the lecturer here, we lost to you.
Yes.
Okay, but I think that Prof. Faridah is actually waiting to answer the question. Please, Prof.
Okay. Yeah, great insight. Yeah, from Associate Prof. Dr. Emma and Associate Prof. Jem. Yeah, that is a very long-lasting experience that we have. Yeah, we have this separate entity. Yeah, between the media industry, the experts, the professionals in the media industry, and also we as the journalism educators or media educators. Yeah, and to have these two to meet in the same table, yeah, and discuss, sometimes it's very difficult. When we do the pathway of communication studies, yeah, under MOHI, we are able to bring in all the heads, all the editor-in-chief, yeah, under one table with together, yeah, and we trash out the needs, all that. So whatever that's in the pathway of communication education, yeah, the Hala Tuju Komunikasi, yeah, which is being printed by MOHI. It is there in the content, and I think we need to revisit. All right, and the suggestion that you said regarding the Mojo and CJ, they don't have that proper training, yeah, and that make it worse because they, for as long as they have issues and they have comments, they want to write and they're very critical about it, and sometimes it can jeopardize, yeah, our situation as journalists, as education, communication educators. We have a very strong case in the recent case on predators journals. Yeah, it come out and become hotly debate. Yeah, in the media, it's because of the understanding between between the scholars and the practitioners. Yeah, coming from, okay, I have both. I have the media experience. I also have the scholarly experience. Yeah, I can see that, yeah, the media are taking it as just a shortcut. Yeah, if you really go into detail, yeah, how associate professor is being given, yeah, how professorships being given, no predator journals are being, evaluated. Yeah, it is being put aside. I don't know how it get to the media, and they take it as a blanket that is the situation whereby professors are given based on even with predators journals, yeah, which is not true. Which is not true. But
so I have to cut it short. Yeah, because I think that there are also questions coming up. And I think to be fair to Dr. Shafi, he has a question to Prof. Faridah. And I think that maybe you can unmute Dr. Shafi. Then you want to ask, how can Malaysian media reframe the reporting technique in portraying real people? Okay, maybe I think that Dr. Shafi, are you here? I think that I'll let you ask the question directly to the speaker. Please. I think that is actually in the chat box. I think that dia juga malu-malu kucing ni sikit ni.
Shafi, it would be great if we can get the slide. Oh, that's from Shafi. The slide presentation. Okay, no problem.
Maybe you can answer in short and sharp. Short and sharp.
Shafi's question. I'm looking for Shafi's question.
Okay. Maybe in the meantime also.
Okay. There is a common perception that the media are mainly interested in covering those in power or rich and famous. How can Malaysian media reframe the reporting techniques in portraying real people, telling human story on the front page or on the TV news? We believe everyone has a story worth hearing. I think it's about time to give voice to the many people. Okay, so basically what I have been telling in my slide is that, yeah, we have to go for the community of practice, COP, right? Getting people, empower them to come in and contribute in terms of ideas, yeah, and perhaps they want to give comment, critical comment, okay, by all means, yeah, but we are giving them the empowerment. I think it is very important, yeah, for journalism educators to address that, yeah, and I would say that should be, I think, trained, yeah, trained, and you need to train our students to have that kind of capabilities. And just now, Dr. Ahmad did mention that, okay, perhaps we bring them in, perhaps not for one semester, but bring them in for short courses for all this CJ and Mojo to come in to understand the professionalism and the ethics, yeah, in terms of presenting their critics. All right, so I think they need to have that exposure. And if we take that step, I think it will help a little bit, yeah, in terms of creating awareness and media literacy among the society at large.
Okay, before we end, I think that there is another one. I allow only one Dr. Jam, otherwise I cannot go back to my faculty. So short, keep it short and sharp. All right. I know that you have something to ask Datin as well, I think.
To both speakers, whoever is ready to answer. Kadai, we have not lost our mojo yet. Thank you very much. By the way, okay, my question is, basically scholars have argued that the problems of information, the problem of information disorder like fake news, especially associated with the new media, is very reflective of the problems in the mainstream media itself, right? So basically, we talk about the new media as being a problem, but actually the cause is also the mainstream media. So I would like to frame this question with this context within the post-truth, because we live in the post-truth era. So how do we as a journalism educator, reconcile this idea of post-truth, mainstream media being the problem itself, and also disillusionment that our students are facing, because we teach them to be critical, to ask the right questions, but when they go to the industry, they're not allowed to ask those questions. So how do we as media practitioners reconcile that? Thank you.
Okay, maybe Datin and also Prof. Faridah can ask. Who want to answer first? Can you raise your hand?
Okay.
Otherwise,
I
let Datin
first, just a short one. Just a short one. It's very good. Yeah, it's very good. The question from Prof. Jam. So basically, that is an issue since Adam and Eve. Yeah, we never want to meet eye to eye with the the journalism educators and the media industries. Yeah, but the media industries now, they are they are slowly getting aware, yeah, of the situation, of the need to be very, very advanced, yeah, in terms of their tackling the public, right, and using lots of new media there. So I think if we should try to reconcile, bring them to the university or we go to the industry, I think that will be, I think a big win situation there. Yeah, I think we will hope to get, some understanding from the mainstream. Yeah, because sometimes the mainstream, they are very strong-headed and they think that what they are doing is right. Yeah, but actually now with the new media, it is a different ball game. Right.
Thank you very much, Prof. Faridah. So I know that Datin also want to answer, and then also I let Datin also wrap up a little bit about her speech just now. Please, Datin.
Okay, thank you. Good question, Projem. Okay, so in terms of reflecting the mainstream media in terms of fake news, I think if we go into the broadcasting room, in terms of media room, we can see there's a lot of monitor screening for anything trending. And in terms of media training, I think the basic things is that they still can check. Okay, we still can have the training of in terms of checking and rechecking. But in terms of, I think the issues of intermedia agenda setting, sometimes when the issue is viral, okay, who carry it first? Sometimes the social media carry it first. Sometimes the mainstream media carry it first. Yeah. So in terms of reflecting that it needs training. So I recap back whatever Kada was telling just now. It needs training. So I think even the journalists also appreciate, but they don't have the luxury of time to do all the training the whole day. They don't have that. But industry, the media industry appreciate like once a week or something like that. They can take time, 1 to 2 hours time off, something like that. So maybe we must collaborate with each other in terms of, and then I think we must also reflect in terms of what happened in Australia now, because they're already blocked. Yeah, they're already blocked. They're not allowed any news to be shared on Facebook because they don't want to pay the Facebook. Because this is what happened to the News Corp. Yeah, Rupert Murdoch paid Google for the news sharing. So in terms of media industry, they're not sharing any news. So if you are sharing any news, we might get sued. Any news from Australia. So beware of that. So okay, so that's I think we should reflect in terms of our helping our journalism colleagues. Yeah.
Okay, thank you again, Datin, and also Prof. Faridah. I think that because that is why that I feel that you have so much to share, but only thing is I am not allowed to go on. Otherwise, I think that there will be a penalty from the school to me. So, but anyway, I know that we all know each other. There are actually 29 of us here. I think that don't miss this opportunity. We have the two gurus here, Datin in UM and also Prof. Faridah in UKL. You have your contact, then I'm sure that you can private message both of them and tap on their wisdom in both journalism and also in this digital literacy later on. So I know I have actually a lot of questions to ask. In fact, that Datin just now asked a question about the fake news. 2 days back that we have actually learned about this misinformation, disinformation, and also malinformation from the workshop by Dr. Ming, Dr. Lim actually. And this afternoon, we are going to have this fact check by Mr. Ali Iman, right? Mr. Ali on fact check. So don't miss it. I think that please, and especially for all of us here, not just only the media practitioner to stay relevant, but I think for the educator. And we cannot run away from this social media, like what Prof. Faridah just now mentioned. I still remember, Kada, learning from you. At that time, my technology is bromide and cow glue. So that is actually gone by the day. So no more same practice. So we have no choice, but I think that I have to apologize to all of you, both speaker, because of to cut your time, and also to the chairman. I also have to give way to other speaker, to participant to ask question. And also I know our participant that you have so many questions to ask, but I think that the time is not permitted. Should I done anything not up to the standard, please apologize for the what we call the inefficiency on handling this matter. But okay, I think that, ladies and gentlemen, I was reminded by our RA, Siti No Shahida, should you have register, please don't forget to register on the link given by you in the chat box. Huh? So I know this afternoon we have another session, but only thing is because of PKP, MCO, for the gentlemen, the Muslim men, that they cannot go for sembahyang jemaah in the masjid. So that's why that we are allowed to start our next session at 2 p.m. And I hope to see you again, both speakers. Again, thanks a lot to Datin, and also thanks a lot to Prof. Faridah, my big sister, both big sister here. Thank you very much.